Hi guys. I'm just going to do a little bit of a lesson online. Online? Yeah, let's say online. And talk you through the next few pages of our yellow booklet. A couple of reasons for that is because um, we've got two people on work placement this week. I don't want them to get behind, and I feel like this might actually be a good way um, to make it so. I notice that in class sometimes when I'm talking, I speak really fast, and I know that, and I hear it when other teachers teach. If I watch them, I think, oh gosh, they've got a really good pace, and I know that I go off on little tangents and whatnot. So anyway, I thought this is a good way for if you miss something or if you want me to repeat it, well, you can just pause and rewind. So I thought it might be good for us. Okay, so first, let's everyone get our yellow booklets out, and I need us to go to about page 24. I don't know if I'm the same as you, but I think it's around page 24, and the heading is workflow planning. Obviously, if it's not page 24, just find workflow planning. Quick. Okay, just pause because I'm going to continue. Okay, so workflow planning. So this is something that you'll be doing a lot. You're going to be doing it for nearly every prac that we do, and definitely every practical assessment. You'll have to write a workflow plan. Now, a workflow plan is really good, especially if you're working in a team. So let's say you're working in a team of 4 in the kitchen. A workflow plan is going to have um, all of the steps involved in the prac, including all mise en place steps. So it's going to have all those things you have to do before you start cooking, as well as clean up and pack down and everything in the middle. You're going to have time allocations. So it might say we start at 7:45, so you might have 7:45 till 8 o'clock, and that will be a time bracket. And then next to it, you'll have a series of steps, things that you want to do in that 15 minutes. Next to that, in another column, you're going to have who's responsible for the different steps. So you might say, okay, Claire's going to do this, and I don't know who else. Jeremy is going to do this, and Sarah's going to do this, etc., etc. And that will make sure that we don't all step on each other's toes. Everyone has their own responsibilities, and together as a team, we'll get everything done. Um, so let's have a look at what this says. So I want us to highlight, so I'll do it with you. Does that work? Highlight. Let's highlight time management, because good time management is really what workflow planning is all about. So it tells us here it's about selecting equipment, arranging equipment, work methods, work food selection, blah, blah, blah. Okay, preparation lists. Here we go. This is the next thing. So this is like a bit easier than workflow plans. It's just um, a logical sequence. I'm using my hands. I know you can't see me. um, okay, so it's a logical sequence of all the things you need to do, but it may not have all of those allocation things on there. So let's have a look. Preparation list, combine, da, da, da. Most kitchens use preparation lists for all the, pens out, mise en place. You have a gap there, so you need to write this in. Most kitchens use preparation lists for all the mise en place and certain time limits or expectations set for the preparation. Preparation lists will assist you in organizing your time and developing these skills. Both, both preparation lists and workflow plans are organizational tools. Workflow plans, however, are written in, here we go, this is the difference. So workflow plans are written in a logical sequence to follow specific schedule. Workflow plans will not only have the tasks required, but also allocate time to each task. Here we go. Let's highlight that. Allocate time to each task to ensure they're all completed by the deadline. Preparation lists and workflow plans may be created for mise en place during pre-service preparation, as well as during food service and example, at a wedding where there is an entree, main, and dessert must be prepared and cooked and served in simultaneous. Okay, here we go. This is where you would really need a workflow plan. If you literally have to serve entree, main, and dessert, where the food and preparation has to be done all at the beginning simultaneously so that it all can be served later, you're going to really need a workflow plan. So when we think of My Kitchen Rules, for those who watch it, some of them who don't get the right amount of preparation done at the beginning, it really stuffs them up when it's time to serve. And sometimes their guests are waiting over 2 hours before they get their main dish. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Whereas the others who do a lot of prep for their main early on often have a better result later on. So hopefully you did your homework and you should already know that. Okay, homework activity. This is what I need you to be doing. You can do it now if you want, so you can pause and do this now. So our questions are, what is a workflow plan? 2, how should we create workflow plans prior to service periods? 3, identify 5 tasks that may be required or select or assemble before you start work. So these are your mise en place things. So you need to write down 5 mise en place tasks that you need to do before you start cooking. So you should know what mise en place is by now. 4, what's the difference between preparation list and workflow plan? 5, create a preparation list. Here we go. So this is something I need you to do. Our next prac is spring rolls. Every single one of you needs to bring your spring rolls to that prac, your spring rolls preparation to that prac. Oh my gosh, spring rolls workflow plan to that prac. So first you need to do a preparation list for spring rolls. So this is just listing dot 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 random things that you need to do for the spring rolls prac. The recipe is in the back of the book. Then you need to type out your preparation list and turn it into a logical workflow plan with time allocations. So you need to go, and it goes here, you need to actually put it in, stick it in your book. You need to draw a table. One column should be time, one column should be steps, one column should be allocations. So all the time, so let's pretend we start cooking at 8. You need to look at the spring rolls recipe, and you need to decide when we should do all the different things so that it gets done by the time we have to finish. Now with cleanup, I would probably give us a maximum time of maybe 8:15. Let's go 8:15. Oh, sorry, 9:15. Let's go 9:15 is our end, because we'll end up going over time because we have to wait for each individual group to deep fry their spring rolls, so it will take a while. That needs to go here. Okay, so I recommend pausing and doing those questions now, but I'm going to keep talking. Measuring ingredients. So we need to know how to measure ingredients properly. I'm going to speed over this because I'm going to hope that you already know how to do it. One thing we're going to talk about are these cups, different measuring cups. So you might know that this is a cup measurer that actually will do 1 cup. So that line there is 1 cup. That's also 1 cup. Which one do we use for dry and which one do we use for liquids? This is for liquids. Why? Imagine if you need a cup of milk. That's your cup measurer. You need to fill that milk right up to the brim for it to be exactly 1 cup. By the time you walk back to your bay, it's going to spill everywhere. This has at least an inch of leeway, so you can fill up to the 1 cup line and you can still walk back to your bench. So I don't want to see ever anyone using these ones for liquids. Liquids only go in the plastic jugs like that. However, if you do use dry in a plastic jug, it won't be the end of the world, but we definitely don't want liquids in those. Then you've got your spoons, that's fine. Moving on. I mean, you can, if you actually don't know about measuring, then you should be reading this. But I'm not going to go through it because I think most of us know. This is the most important bit: storage and handling of food. So let's talk about that. Oh God, Mum's calling me. What? Hang on. Be right back. Sorry guys, I just had a bit of a custard Danish disaster. That's okay, all good now. Okay, so let's go back to dairy products. As we know, or as we should know, dairy products are known as perishable items. Perishable meaning they go off really quick. So a perishable item needs to be kept under 5 degrees. So that's your fridge. So our fridge is usually set to anywhere between 0 and 5. It should really be 0 and 4 because 5 degrees is the danger zone. If things are kept in that temperature range, it slows down bacteria growth, which means it will last longer. So if you keep milk out, it's going to go off really quick. If you keep it in the fridge, it lasts about a week. So perishable. Um, can we highlight? Oh, where's my highlighter gone? Okay, can we highlight where it says da, 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 da. Okay, ideal environment for bacteria to grow. Milk as well. Sorry, milk is a perishable item. It is the sort of product that is the ideal environment for bacteria to grow. Storage of milk. Let's look at that. Fresh milk. As soon as okay, here we go. As soon as fresh milk stores are received, they need to be placed into the refrigerator at under 4 degrees. Let's I'm just going to actually change that because that's really important. So we need to know that the fridge is under 4. Careful stock rotation. Okay. First in, first out FIFO rule. So when we receive milk, so our supplier might arrive with a whole lot of things of milk. When we go into the cool room, there might already be milk there. We don't put the new milk in front of the old milk because whoever uses the milk will just grab the first one they see. If the first one they see is the new one, that means the old one will hardly get used, that no one will see it. And so it might not get used for like up to a week, and by that time it will actually be out of date. So we need to make sure we put the new stock behind the old stock because the new stock has longer expiry on it. So we want to be using up our old stock first and then we move on to our new stock. That's FIFO, first in, first out. If it's the first that we bought, it's the first in, we bought it first, it's the first to go in the fridge, then it must be the first to leave the fridge and the older ones come out after. When using milk in the kitchen, make sure to return the refrigerator as soon as possible. When you're on work placement, you might notice that some cafes leave the milk out on the bench because they're constantly making coffees. Now, I would say as a general rule, if you haven't used the entire milk carton within 15 minutes, then then you don't use it quick enough for it to be left out on that bench. So it really should go back into the fridge straight away. Milk left out on the fridge will sour more quickly than milk that's returned to the fridge. Highlight that, please. Milk also absorbs flavors and the smells of food around, so it always needs to be covered. So if you happen to put milk in a jug for any reason, when you put it in the fridge, you actually have to Glad wrap it because milk absorbs the flavors of the fridge. So if you've got heaps of seafood in the fridge or heaps of leftover food that's got garlic in it and stuff, your milk will actually absorb some of those flavors. So if you then pour the milk into your cereal, where you are literally just drinking the milk pretty plain, it's not like it's in coffee or anything, it might have a fishy flavor, or you might think, oh, what is this? It's the flavors of the fridge. Cheese. This is the last one I'm going to go through for now because the next one's about fish and shellfish. So let's just do cheese. So cheese is a product frequently used in the commercial kitchen. Cheeses varies. Cheese varies according to the amount of processing they receive, moisture content. Okay. As it is a dairy product, care needs to be taken with storage. Cheese should be stored. Here we go. Highlight this. This could be in an exam. Storage of dairy products. Cheese should be stored in the refrigerator at 2 to 3 degrees. Now, have you noticed that I said before the fridge is 0 to 5 or 0 to 4? How are we going to make sure it stays between 2 and 3 if it's in your normal fridge? Think of your fridges at home. Does mum put the fridge in a certain spot? Most people should have a little drawer or something in the fridge that's sealed off, like a little pull-out bit. That is where we should be keeping our cheeses. It actually stays colder than the rest of the fridge because when we keep opening and closing the fridge, we're letting hot air in. But that sealed off section doesn't get exposed to that hot air. It should be stored separate from strong smelling foods. Again, cheese absorbs odors and flavors. I like that. Okay, keep cheese completely wrapped in plastic. Completely wrapped in plastic wrap to prevent the edges from drying out. Wrapping also helps prevent mold growth, sorry, and loss of moisture. used by